You wouldn't believe what I could do with a banjo. I can beat a tree so hard that it powers me up. And I'm gonna need all the help I can get because I don't even wear pants. I'm a knight without armor. What I'm supposed to be doing is beating this stone tower to death, which makes me not a very bright knight. But somehow this isn't also the worst idea I've ever had. Only the mightiest of warriors can beat the coins right out of the stones, and then scurry around like a moron to pick them up. I could get an extra apple on the tree, we drop the apples, and those give me more power. So this is really just a game about beating the local wildlife. While every once in a while going to beat up the stone tower. You'd think the princess might jump from there, it's really only a couple meters high. But then again, I am a knight without sleeves with a banjo, so who am I to tell anyone anything at all? But our damage went up by 50%, we're smacking a stupid tower for 60 whole damage at this point. I hope there's an upgrade where I can install some cleats on the bottom of my booties because this guy is slippery. Plus, I'm not really sure if having more power translates to knocking more coins out of the stones. You'd think it might, but it's anyone's guess in this silly world. Plus, whoever locked her in the tower might have thought about putting an actual guard here, considering there's a man beating it down with a musical instrument. It's not very well defended. Day number 5, we've afforded enough to buy an upgrade here, so we now have a cast iron frying pan. Anyone who's ever played PUBG or cooked with one of these knows how dangerous these things are. We got another 50% damage increase because of that, and the tower is literally spitting out diamonds for us. The tower still has a little bit of health to go. I think we've knocked off less than 1%. But I've got time if you do. The diamonds are actually worth quite a bit more than the gold. Now I don't know what to spend my money on. This is either a house for children or maybe chickens. Okay, we got a chicken. Not really sure. Okay, we beat the eggs out of the chicken. I don't know what these do, but I'll take it. I mean, back in whatever day this was, eggs might have been hugely valuable. Or they might not have been. I don't really know much of anything about anything. Okay, well, now we're out of chicken. Or are we? We can still eat that. What we need is more apples. You know what? Let's upgrade the apple tree so now a 4th apple is going to grow, and maybe we can just break the game using apples. Our power's gone up again. We're going to gather up those stars that I don't think do anything, but 120 whole damage. He's not the brightest knight in the land, but he does have a lot of time on his hands, so we'll get there eventually, princess. You'll also be delighted to know that I've sacrificed a chicken in your honor. Wait a second, it might respawn. Get back here, you little idiot. You know, this game's actually similar to Pal World in a lot of ways. But at the rate we're going, we're gonna need a better weapon. It's day 9 and I've spent more time beating the wildlife than I have the tower to rescue whoever this is. I hope there's a plot twist and I'm actually here to abduct her. She's trying to keep me out of the tower and I'm just some random maniac going to abduct her. 420 yellow pearls is enough to buy me my next weapon, presumably a hockey stick. We're in Canada. I've spent 10 days beating the tower with an assortment of garage tools and it still has 98% of its health left. To be perfectly fair on the game though, if this was real life, you definitely could beat on this thing for your entire life with the hockey stick and you'd probably get no results at all. Which means we need ourselves a little bit more strength. And apples make you stronger, they're full of protein. But not as much protein as a chicken. The trick is you gotta hit it and then collect its egg. Because if you get it to lay too many eggs, you don't have time to catch them all. Are you watching this? You're next. The chicken has been defeated, everyone can relax. So we got another one to beat more eggs out of. But this is going to give us a 5 times multiplier. So now we can beat the castle for 200 damage. That's actually a huge increase. I think we started at 20. We'll take a few more apples. You know what? Maybe we should upgrade the apple tree more. The more power we can get out of that, the better. We just come and smack it every once in a while for auto upgrades. You know, you can really see the improved strength in this guy's arms. He's absolutely ripped. It's like if R2-D2 had arms and legs. We're getting a ton of apples off of the tree, but we need a lot of apples to level this guy up. Those gains don't come easy. Especially not for someone this jacked already. You know, I should really learn to count how many eggs the chickens give me because I can beat them to within an inch of their life and then let them recover for the next day. Otherwise, it's just cruel. I've been joking about how strong I am, but this castle is actually really, really strong. I've taken off maybe 3% of this castle's health at this point, and we're actually hitting it pretty hard already. But for $1,000, we get a brand new weapon, a selfie stick. I honestly thought this game was from the Great Before time, before that was even a thing. 250 damage. Now we're gonna make some progress. Mostly by beating the wildlife to death though. We can still get more strength out of this. The higher our initial damage, the more these multipliers are gonna add on top of that. Power up, we now have a 6 times multiplier. So that'll be 300 damage. Am I right? It doesn't show on that. 300 damage. Sadly, I don't think that affects the chickens. I think they just give you an egg every time you smack them up to 6, 7, 8 times. I honestly think this tree was just put in to be a distraction because every time I see that tree full of apples, I can't help myself. I've got to go hit it and collect those apples, even though they're pretty well useless for me. But I guess so is water, and I still drink a lot of that. This is gonna sound dumb, but it's been 18 days, and I'm really enjoying this. I thought it had only been a few. Time is flying by. Plus, we get to find out what's in a giant sack. It's some kind of creature with a walking cane. Not really sure what I'm supposed to do with this creature. For some reason, he's going around collecting things on the ground for me, so every once in a while he'll do a flyby and grab some stuff. I guess that's helpful, but he walks very slowly. He should really pick up the pace. He's got the cane out in front of him so he can not run into obstacles, so he should really be skipping along quicker. You see, if I was allowed to hit him, that would put a little pep in his step. Nothing says get moving like a selfie stick across the head. You know, this guy probably is still smarter than your average influencer. What do we get now? We have a sniper rifle, which is definitely good about knocking the apples out of trees, but we all want to see the damage. 360, and we get amethysts. Plus, we probably actually do a reasonable amount of damage to the tower. I thought that was an enemy for a second. I was about to go destroy him.
Mercilessly.
I still would, given the choice, but I'm just not allowed to hurt him. So can I, like, upgrade you to make you move faster? Or are we just kind of stuck with... I want to put you back in your sack at this point. I can see why the last person left you in there. Well, at least 360 damage has got the ball rolling on getting his tower down. It's at 5, 6, 7% lost. It was only then that he realized he could hold down the attack button and make it rain valuables. This actually overloads the game so bad the music starts to skip. But at least our furry little moron is actually starting to find a use for himself. I can just sit back and relax and make him do all the work. I'm also a little bit worried that that's just straight up going to break the game, so we're not going to do that for very long. I wouldn't want to lose my 24 days of progress. $5,000 dues, that means we get to buy a ram. The ram immediately got up and left me. But to be fair, he's seen what I've been doing for the past 30 minutes, so I don't blame him. It's embarrassing that he's able to do that much damage. I think he's doing more than I was. I think I've got the remedy for that though. We just need more apples and more chickens. So we're going to go ahead and buy more of these. You know what? Let's spend that much money on chickens. The tower duty is in good hands. Oh, they're all going to cluster up and everything. This is actually going to be much easier protein. Or whatever it is we're getting from the eggs. It's still a little unclear what the point of any of this is. Apples are also easier than the chicken, so we'll buy a few of those. At the rate we're making money, I think we can afford to buy pretty much anything we want. And then we just make it rain all this delicious stuff on top of our heads and collect it all, eventually to rescue the princess or whatever we're doing. Power up. I thought the ram was doing more damage than me, but maybe he's just got more persistence, or less ADD. I'm now hitting for 420 damage, however, so that is getting up there. It's also just occurred to me that I'm probably using my rifle wrong. But then again, look at me, so... tempered expectations are going to be the way to go moving forward. It is very satisfying. The sound effects, the colors, all of it. We just got to make it rain again and again. The chicken even came over here. Now we can hit the tower and the bird at the same time. This Herculean effort will surely be worth it by the end. Maybe after this rifle, we'll get an actual weapon that could maybe actually do some damage. Next is a pipe wrench. For the next upgrade, we need $15,000. Luckily, we're spitting out literal goblets. I don't really want to rescue the princess anymore. I just want this tower to last forever. I could become very rich just hitting this all day. A few flybys and I got over $4,000. I've now realized the chickens are actually able to wander quite a ways. I don't know if that's good or bad, but we're just going to chase them around hitting them for a second. Those ones are sleeping. I mean, it is nighttime. I do think maybe the pipe wrench does do extra damage to them because they shouldn't go to sleep that easily. More chickens. You can never have too many. There's an extra that many. I am starting to realize too that these multipliers probably aren't worth it because we went from a 7 to an 8 times multiplier. So, you know, that's not actually a giant increase. I guess we did jump up to 560, which is an increase. The tower is at like 80% health at this point. 31 days. It's been a literal month of doing this, and I've probably massacred more chickens than I have in any game in my existence.
I'm just putting him to bed for the night. They'll be fine.
Okay, sheep. I know you've been at it for a while. I need you to ram $15,000 out of this castle. Day 33, $15,000, which we're going to spend on an axe. I keep saying I'm not going to touch the chickens anymore because there's no point, but I have fun doing it. We've almost leveled up because of it. Plus, I got them all figured out now. I understand their movement, so I can really efficiently put them to sleep. Also, this axe is now going to do 720 damage, so that's a little better. The tower is probably getting down to 70% HP. And it's obviously knocking out some more valuable stuff again. 35,000 for the next upgrade. That's going to take at least a minute. We've actually made 15 grand back really quickly, and the tower's health is finally dropping. So with a few more little upgrades, we might actually get that thing to fall Probably the princess still inside of it, but we'll cross that bridge when we get to it. That's not really my problem. I also feel like we've lost some of our chickens. It wouldn't be the biggest surprise in the world, but I feel like we had a lot more. I suspect we're getting to the end game now. We're not really doing much of anything. We've still made 25 grand. I zone out for 2 seconds and suddenly we actually have the money we need for the upgrade. And iron, yeah, that'll work. Especially considering it now does 900 damage. And this thing drops literal treasure chests now. I always have enjoyed a game where I can make a giant pile of treasure. I've put the chickens to sleep one more time, so we powered up one more time. That should put us close to 1,000 damage. Exactly on 1,000 damage, in fact. I guess that makes sense because iron would have a 100 base damage. Times 10, 1,000. Bet you didn't think you were going to get a math lesson today, but here we are. Gotta do something to equal out the stupidity you gain from watching my video. Giant pile of treasure, game goes bananas, we pick it all up and do it again. Actually, that's $50,000 already. Okay, what's next? Mace. The next upgrade is 80,000. Or am I supposed to find $80,000 to get an upgrade? I mean, I did just make $12,000 by hitting a tower 3 times, so it's a very realistic game. The tower's health is definitely below 50%, probably getting closer to 40 by this point, so we're making progress. It's the little ram that could. Okay, we just hit the $80,000 mark, so that means we get to find out exactly how many chickens we can buy with that sort of money. Turns out it's only a few. Idiots, you guys are not at all worth the money, wasting my time. I guess if I do beat up enough of them though, they are going to add well over 100 damage. Maybe even thousands of damage. My passive income is actually really high too, because I've made $23,000 and I've mostly been bashing chickens. Hey, we got a power up. We got so many chickens that they're actually coming back to life almost as quickly as I can put them to sleep. My weapon is now so powerful though, it breaks the sound in the game. 1,320 damage. I think we can actually see the green health bar moving at this point. The tower is so close to falling. We did that so far in less than 50 days. Unless something crazy happens, we should get it done momentarily. We are about to buy the better weapon too, so let's see what comes after mace. Naturally, it's a giant sword, and I definitely approve of this. I might also hurt the lady inside while we're doing this, but I'm prepared to take that risk. And this is clearly the final weapon because there's nothing else we can buy. How did the chickens get out? Get back in your pen. You need to go to sleep in there. You can't sleep out here. What are we going to do if you're sleeping elsewhere? It'd be hard to find you again. I wonder what she thinks of this. I've just been beating the animals mercilessly the whole time while trying to get into her tower. She's probably not super excited right now. And the tower's going down. The ram is still going at it. He's not as bright as he looks though anyway. So is she like inside there? Because I feel like she wouldn't have survived that. Oh, whatever the case, we ride our donkey into the sunset and live happily ever after.